Canyon. A salute to the Air Force men of America.
You are about to see an actual mission flown by the United States Air Force. All information, material, and incidents contained herein are now declassified. Headquarters, 27th Air Division, Air Defense Command, Norton Air Force Base, California. Special order number 208, paragraph 1. Lieutenant Colonel Stevenson B. Canyon, serial number AO 041044, will proceed without delay to McClellan Air Force Base, California, delivering F-102s 844 and 819 for necessary modification. Officers granted 10 days delay en route at destination, and upon completion will return this station. By order of the commanding officer.
Oakland Control from Air Force Jet 73819.
Flight of 2 aircraft, estimating Sacramento at 46.
Request approach instructions to McClellan.
73819, this is McClellan Tower. Oakland Center clears 819 to McClellan, canceling IFR at 55. Landing runway 27. You are number 1 and 2. Call initial.
Roger, Mac Tower. We'll call on initial.
819, turning final. Gear checked.
Roger, 819. You are number 1.
On final.
Gear checked.
Look at that F-100. What does that fool think he's doing?
F-100, this is McClellan Tower. F-100 approaching from southwest. Do you read? Over. 844 from Tower, emergency. F-100 approaching your left from collision course. I never see another one that close.
Hello, give me the AO. Hello, this is Major Elphinstone. I want the pilot that just landed that F-100 picked up and brought to base ops immediately.
But it could have landed itself.
Peterson, Gene. Captain.
Take your hand off what you got behind that bar. I'll tear this place apart. Where you going, honey? You weren't just about thinking of walking off here and leaving me all alone now, were you? Come on, you want your drink? Drink up. Come on, let's have another round, bartender.
You didn't touch your last one, Cap.
Let's have that drink.
Well, it's about time you guys got here. I called you over an hour ago.
Captain Peterson,
Uh-huh.
you better come along with us now.
Move away, mister.
All right, that's enough.
Don't crowd me, Colonel.
Crowd you,
You
I
don't
ought
recognize me, do you, Captain?
No.
I'm the man you tried so hard to kill this afternoon.
Kill you?
I was flying that F-102 you almost rammed.
Come in.
Feeling all right now?
Yes, sir. I feel fine.
I'm here to try and find out what happened in the air yesterday.
I'm sorry about that, Colonel.
How long you been flying, Captain?
14, 15 years.
Combat?
World War II, Korea.
What outfit?
499th.
Bill Kingsgrove?
Yes, sir.
Bill's an old friend. You boys rolled up quite a score.
Yeah. But that was all a long time ago.
Not that long. Sit down. I don't know what kind of a hot shot I expected to find flying that plane. Certainly wasn't someone like you. What really happened up there yesterday, Captain?
I can't tell you, Colonel.
Why not?
I don't remember.
What do you mean? Were you drunk?
No, sir.
Well, then what's your explanation? You must have some excuse.
I've got no excuses, Colonel.
What are you trying to pull?
I told you I was sorry. That's the best I can do for you.
Well, that's not good enough.
Well, what did you come in here for, anyway? You want to threaten me? With what? You want to tell me I'm in trouble? Well, I know I'm in trouble. You want to play the Good Samaritan? Well, I didn't ask for your help or anybody else's. And if you weren't wearing that hunk of tin, I'd throw you out of here so hard you'd bounce.
Whatever that court-martial gives you, you got coming to you.
Oh, yeah? You'd like to see him throw me behind bars, wouldn't you?
Well, that's exactly where you belong.
Well, I got news for you. I'm going to request you as my defense counsel. And you know what? You're going to take it. You know why? Because you're a stupid, sentimental slob who comes around trying to find out what's wrong with somebody you don't give beans about. You're just dumb enough to take my case. Because it's hopeless.
You're charged with violation of Article 110. Hazarding through negligence an aircraft of the armed forces. Maximum sentence, dishonorable discharge, forfeiture of all pay and allowances, 2 years confinement at hard labor.
Good.
There's an alternative. The CO is willing to extend you special consideration because of your record.
No, no. Now, if they want me out, they're going to have to put me out. I'm not going to do it to myself.
So far, you really haven't any defense.
Good.
How did you feel on the flight?
Oh, I felt fine.
Well, what were you thinking about?
I don't remember.
Your only chance is for me to find out what actually happened.
There's nothing to find out.
How do you plead?
Guilty.
Pete, listen.
No! I'm guilty.
Court is now convened. The prosecution is ready to proceed with the case in the trial of the United States against Captain Eugene Peterson, who is present in court. Before receiving your pleas, I advise you that any motion to dismiss the charge or grant other relief should be made at this time.
This is our last chance, Pete. The defense has no motions to make.
Captain Peterson, how do you plead?
If it please the court, I'm no lawyer. And I start with a request that may not be strictly according to procedure. Colonel, I have received absolutely no cooperation from the accused. He refuses to discuss the circumstances of the case. He insists I enter a plea of guilty for him. I'm convinced, however, that all the facts are not on the surface. And I therefore, in all conscience, cannot bring myself to enter a plea of guilty for the accused and request that the court plead for him.
Very well. The court is obliged under the circumstances by military law to enter a plea for the accused. The court will plead the accused not guilty of all charges and specifications. Trial counsel will proceed, please.
Lieutenant, you arrived at the base at 1300 August 16th.
I did.
Was there anything unusual about your arrival?
There was.
As a matter of fact, Lieutenant, you almost lost your life.
You could put it that way.
Yes, I'd put it that way. Will you tell the court exactly what happened on 1300 August 16th?
Well, I was coming in for a landing.
Just a moment, Lieutenant. Let's assume this is your plane, and I am flying Captain Peterson's plane. In other words, Lieutenant, the accused violated all rules of aircraft landing procedure, and in so doing, endangered the safety of his plane and of yours, placed in jeopardy his own life, your life, and the lives of unnumbered persons stationed on the airfield at the time.
Yes.
No further questions.
No questions.
The witness is excused.
Prosecution rests.
Sir, I would first like to enter in evidence a statement by Colonel William B. Kling.
Would defense counsel identify Colonel Kling in terms of whatever relevance he may bear to this case, and more specifically these charges?
Certainly. Colonel Kling commanded the 499 Fighter Group in Korea in which the accused served.
Sir, trial counsel object to the introduction of any such evidence as irrelevant and material to the charges.
What exactly does defense counsel hope to show by this statement?
This statement contains sworn testimony to the character and, more important, the superior airmanship of the accused.
Sir, events which transpired years before the specified charges to which the accused is pleaded not guilty are not admissible since they have no bearing on the charges before this court.
Subject to objection by any member of this court, the objection of the trial counsel is sustained.
Sir, I have here the service record of the accused, which I would now like to enter in evidence.
Trial counsel must raise the same objection as previously.
Subject to the objection of any member of this court, the objection of the trial counsel is sustained.
If it please the court, I would like to read General Order number 743, quote, First Lieutenant...
May we have the date of that order, please?
It is dated January 1952. And before the trial counsel objects, I would like to state it is a citation awarding the accused the Silver Star for actions, and I quote, of unselfish sacrifice and extraordinary heroism above and beyond the call of duty, reflecting credit upon the highest traditions of the United States Air Force. Certainly, this is admissible evidence when a man's whole career is at stake.
It would be, if what we were trying to prove here is that accused is a coward. But this court is not questioning Captain Peterson's courage. Therefore, previous records of heroism can hardly be considered pertinent.
I withdraw the citation. At this point, the defense requests a postponement in order to submit new evidence.
Sir, that request is clearly out of order. The defense has had adequate time to prepare this case, and I submit we proceed with the trial.
If such evidence exists, why not present it now?
Because it is not complete as yet.
How much more time do you need to complete it, Colonel?
4 hours.
Very well. This court stands adjourned until 2100 hours tonight.
Why don't you let him get it over with?
Let's go.
Where are we going?
Going up in that C-47. We're going to simulate what happened the other day.
No.
You got nothing to worry about. We're just going to shoot a few landings.
I said no.
What's the matter, Captain Peterson? Are you afraid? I want you to stay out of the cockpit, Sergeant. Tower from Air Force 343, requesting permission to shoot touch-and-go landings.
Roger, 343. This is Mac Tower. Permission granted. Wind to southeast at 11 knots. We'll land on runway 16.
Okay, Captain. She's all yours.
You are number 1 to land.
Roger.
Who's flying us, you or me? You want to take her in? Go ahead.
No, she's all yours.
I'm gonna have to go around again.
What now?
I'm not lined up.
You're perfect. Take her in.
Give me full flaps.
Let's go, Pete.
This court is now reconvened.
All parties to this trial present when the court adjourned are again present.
Thank you. Is defense counsel ready to proceed?
If the court pleases, I request to be sworn in as a witness.
Permission granted.
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give the case now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Gentlemen, this afternoon I accompanied Captain Peterson on a flight in a C-47. In the course of that flight, I asked Captain Peterson to take the plane in for a landing. Captain Peterson froze at the controls and then panicked. He was afraid to land the oldest, slowest, safest aircraft in the Air Force. A qualified jet pilot had contracted that strange malady known as fear of flying.
Fear of flying?
Precisely.
A man, an Air Force pilot, who's been flying for 14 years? A man who's been decorated many times. Such a man can suddenly develop a fear of flying. Is that what defense counsel would have us believe?
Yes.
No further questions.
Witness is excused.
Gentlemen, I'm not asking the court to believe in any crackpot hypothesis. Fear of flying, as it is called, can happen to the most experienced pilot in the world. We examined 20,000 combat pilots in Japan not long ago, and we discovered that 100 of them had developed a morbid fear of flying. Experienced men, fearless men, suddenly found themselves unable to step into an airplane.
But, sir, granted that what defense counsel says is true, doesn't that make it the responsibility of this court to find Captain Peterson guilty and thus guarantee that a man who is afraid to fly be kept from flying and endangering the lives of others?
My friend, let me tell you something. From a flying officer to a non-flying officer. Believe me, with all due respect, every man who goes up in a plane conquers some kind of fear every time he goes up. It's a natural thing to have such fears because flying is dangerous. A man who faces that danger 1,000 times, 10,000 times is a brave man. Brave because he conquers fear, not because he is oblivious to it. To such a man, admitting that he is afraid is the ultimate disgrace. That is why Captain Peterson has persisted in behaving in this way. That is why he antagonized me before asking me to serve as his counsel. That is why he has refused to cooperate with this court in any way. He wants to be convicted. He would rather be court-martialed and disgraced, destroy his career, go to jail, rather than to admit that he is afraid. Captain Peterson, will you please take the stand in your own behalf?
Captain Peterson, you may now testify under oath or remain silent. What is your wish?
Do you swear the testimony you're about to give the case now in hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Is what defense counsel says true? Are you afraid to fly?
Pete, you're not suffering from some rare, disgraceful disease. We discovered one thing from those tests in Japan. There is a cure for fear of flying. 90% of those men went back on flying status. The first step toward being cured is to admit the fear. It's the hardest thing a brave man can do. But it is also the bravest.
Captain Peterson, are you afraid to fly?
Yes, sir. I'm afraid.
Sir, I respectfully request that this court adjourn for a period long enough for the accused to receive the required medical treatment.
Defense counsel's request is granted. This court stands adjourned.